Hey everybody, it's Anakin, and welcome to episode 10 of Down the Scope, the gaming podcast you can't miss. Tonight we've got two of the other wonderful, of the trio normally that joins us, but two of the other wonderful cast members. We've got Viridia Guru. Viridia, say hello.
What's up, guy? How's you doing?
Good. Tell me what's new with you.
Oh, not much. Just been playing the crap out of Crysis, finishing up my Homefront Let's Play, and actually, you know what? I have been doing something else. I bought Fallout New Vegas, and I'm gonna say something really quick. Don't buy it for PS3. Do not buy if you're gonna buy it for PC and Xbox, because I've ran into 5 game-breaking glitches in the game. Literally, the quests just stop. I forgot to tell you that earlier.
Yeah, you told me that.
I raged the other day. Like, I love Fallout. I love the damn game. I love playing through it. But the game has broken so many times. I get my hopes up about a quest. I'm like, yes, I want to do this one. It breaks on me, and I have to say, screw it. So I'm not putting it back in the console.
Well, there you go. Don't buy Fallout for the PS3. Nice. Well, let's move on over here to Miss Zombie Lady. Tell us what's going on with you.
Nothing much. I've been trying to get some gameplays, but unfortunately, my headset is broken.
Aww. What happened to it?
I don't know. Like my Turtle Beaches, one time, you know those blue light thingy?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
Every time I plug it in my PS3, at first it'll light up, and then the next thing you know, it'll die down. So I can't hear anybody talking. Like, I can hear some people talking, I just can't understand them. And I don't like playing. I don't like playing when I can't hear them for communication and stuff.
Yeah.
So I just get ticked off and ended up not playing.
Well,
and I also picked up Crysis too.
Yeah.
All right.
How's that been going for you?
I like it. I really, really like it. You know what? I'll like it more if I get to play with people. I just had some major connection problems.
Yeah.
Is it the matchmaking service on the PS3? Is that what you guys are having some issues with?
Well, no, not really. I mean, so what happened was we tried to get into a game, and Delta and I can get in fine when we're playing together. But, it's like, as soon as we party up, Zombie just gets knocked out.
Okay, I'll tell you a funny story. So 3 of us, like my real-life friend, Delta, and then me, were playing. So I get kicked out of the party. And then when they got into the game, they are both in different teams. It was hilarious. We can't, we're like, okay, this is the last game. I'm going to bed. And then after that, our last game, that was the only game we got to play together in a team. That's it. Out of like 10 games or something.
Well, we actually got into a match with you in there, but it kicked you out immediately. It wasn't me. It was like halfway through the match, but the time you spent in there was so lagged up, you couldn't even do anything, right?
Yep.
I saw some of those same problems early on, like literally the first couple of days that the game was launched on Xbox, and I haven't seen those problems at all ever since. They put out a patch like 2 days later, and it fixed everything on the Xbox.
See that?
One more glitch. So, you know how you spawn in the game, right? You can choose like a class and stuff.
Right.
So that screen, me and my friend, it glitched for us, like. Literally, like the joystick, it feels like the analog sticks were moving up because, the menu were just moving up. Like it was just moving up. I'm like, oh, how do I choose a class? Like, it just keeps moving up. So yeah, those are like 2 of the major glitches I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to play it. I mean, I really like it. I really like the change from Call of Duty and stuff, but. Yeah. I just need to fix a lot of things like my headset.
Well, and that's what we're crossing our fingers for. I'm really hoping that Crytek looks at it and they go, okay, people are actually liking this. I mean when you look at the community out there, of the directors that we know, people, they're liking it. They're enjoying it,
Yeah.
And so if, I hope Crytek, uses YouTube a little bit and goes, okay, people are actually playing this. We need to fix this. We need to tweak this up quite a bit because, I mean, it's not flawless by any means, and it could definitely be tweaked. But yeah, here's hoping that happens for sure.
The thing is I'm going to get flamed for this again, but I swear to you, it seems like every developer develops for the Xbox first, and all other platforms, second.
Yeah.
And unless something is an exclusive, and of course, even Killzone 3, as exclusive to PS3 as it was still a damn mess. But this is why I choose basically the Xbox as my primary platform, even though I've got all the platforms, I mean, I literally have like every platform except for the PSP. I've got everything else, and I still, at this point, I pretty much choose the Xbox. When I used to choose PC, but now, even the PC, it seems like it's almost like an aftermarket platform, It's like everybody starts with the Xbox. If they're going to do multi-platform, it's like they start with the Xbox and then fan out from there. And man, I'm telling you, the things that you guys are describing is just one of the reasons that I just stopped buying games for the PS3. I mean, it's just even Black Ops, I think, is still kind of a mess on the PS3 compared to the Xbox version. I don't know. I mean,
no, I agree with that 100%.
I hate it because I kind of like the PS3, but I mean, it's just I just think that if I want the best gaming experience, unless it's an exclusive, I just end up buying it first for the Xbox.
Yeah, I agree. If it weren't for honestly, I said this last time, if it weren't for every single freaking person I play with being on the PS3, I wouldn't touch it. I honestly wouldn't.
Thank you.
No. You've got an Xbox sitting there. You just don't play it.
I don't have live subscription.
They had a deal today, $30 for the year.
And I'm going to return it soon to my friend.
Sad.
You said that 3 months ago.
I know, right? He's like, where's my freaking Xbox?
Awesome.
I'm like, I just don't have time to drop it at their house.
But you're a girl. All you got to do is like tilt your head and smile, and then boom, you get it for another couple months. I mean, it's practically yours. Like, as long as you have an infinite number of smiles.
Yeah, about that. Don't have live subscription.
Okay, moving on.
That's awesome. All right. Well, as for me, I've been doing Crysis 2, just like you, Viridia. I've had a good time with it. I'm still digging it. I had a buddy of mine talking me into going back to Black Ops last night, though, just for a few minutes. I played, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half, I guess, maybe 2 hours at most. And, Black Ops was still fun. I did a lot of free-for-all, which is my favorite mode. But, I'll tell you, I think Crysis is a damn good competitor. Some people are going to say it's not a Call of Duty killer, but I'll tell you what, it's certainly killed Call of Duty, playing on my end.
Yeah,
so I'm going Crysis all the way at this point. I'm having a really good time with it. And the only other game that I'm really waiting for right now is the Portal 2, and that's only a couple of weeks away, I think.
Oh yeah, I know. And speaking of Portal 2, let me ask you this: do you think that the new one will justify a full price?
Oof, it's a tough call, man, because the way that the original, nobody really expected the original to take off like it did.
No.
That was a phenomenon,
Right.
But the thing is nobody would have ever purchased the original as a standalone, and it wasn't really meant to be.
Hell no. That's the point. It wasn't meant to be, and it scares me that they're trying to do it.
I know. I'm just not sure if they're going to give you enough content, and even then, even if they do give you, let's say, 10 hours or 12 hours of content, is it really worth $60 to do that same kind of Portal thing over and over?
Well, and the trailers, it makes it look like they've changed things up quite a bit. They've got the whole what was the damn name of the facility? It wasn't Black Mesa, was it?
No. It was laboratory. God dang it.
Yeah, well, okay, so basically that lab that you're playing the first one in is now open, and it's got vegetation in it and bullcrap, and but I honestly just can't, unless they've added some epic story, which I'm not saying Valve can't do, obviously.
Sure.
Then it's got to step up its game. I'm really praying, because one of the things that they really pushed was the co-op mode, and I'm really hoping that it's not 50-50 there. If it's like, okay, well, 50% is story, and it's still as short as the first Portal, but you also get co-op.
Right.
I don't like that. You know why? Because I can't rely on other people. To play co-op with me.
Aperture
Like me?
Laboratories. Aperture Laboratories.
Aperture.
Remember our Borderlands co-op, Brad?
Yeah, I can't rely on Zombie for
Shut up! You're so mean.
play any game, because
You're so mean.
not Call of Duty. I'm stopping this.
That's awesome.
Just kidding. Anyway,
I think that Portal 2, the co-op, by the way, is going to be like so frustrating. I think it's going to be like that. What was it? The Super Mario Brothers Wii, where you had to like rely on other people to get through the game.
exactly. Well, that's what I thought too. Actually, that game is way better if you don't play with other people. Just you're in confusion. But
I think
One of the
divorce rate went
one
up
of
when
the
game
games
came
that
out.
I played that need other people is the Alliance or something.
the what?
What is that?
Ultimate Alliance. Have you played that game?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
the
yeah.
Marvel game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that game. You actually need people to finish the thing.
Yeah. There's games like that. It's just
It's fun though.
No, it is. And don't get me wrong. It's fun to have a co-op deal, but when you're boosting that as a main aspect to the game, I just don't like that, because I can't just go, all right, I'm done eating dinner, I'm done talking to the wife, I want to come in here and play a game, and I can't just rely on somebody to be sitting there waiting on me to get online, and say, okay, oh wait, hey, yeah, of course, I'd love to play co-op. I mean, Splinter Cell Conviction is one of my favorite games, and I still haven't completed all the co-op missions. Why? Because nobody plays the game.
And
I'm not
true.
doing-
I guess.
And I'm not doing it with somebody I don't know. Like, they've got the matchmaking bull crap. I'm not going to do that with somebody I don't know. It's just not fun.
Yeah,
I want
I
to
agree.
have a good time, drinking a beer or something while I'm playing with them, and just, talking about stuff I really, really want to talk about. But anyway.
Well, anyway, we are missing one of our crew tonight. Rad Austin has the night off.
Yeah.
in certain a certain number of terms, but yeah, he's got the night off tonight. So we are just doing a trio tonight. And,
no zombies tonight, thank God.
Yeah. Well, one sorta, but yeah, no zombie discussion tonight. So we do have the night off from Rad Austin and the night off from zombies. So, well, let's talk about some of the topics we got tonight. We've got 2 or 3 we're going to try to get to, but one thing we want to go over very quickly. Hopefully, if Down the Scope does continue through the year, which I sure hope, we started this. This is episode 10. 10. Yeah. Okay, this is 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
And here we are. We're just finishing up the first quarter of the year. And, I want to open up this little segment here just for a very brief discussion. I want to call it Game of the Quarter. And what I mean by that is that, we want to talk about the best game in our opinions, so far released up until April 1st. So that gives us the first 3 months of the year. There was actually a lot of activity this year. And what I want to do is, over the next, the next 3 months, everything that comes out, from now until, the end of May or the end of June, we'll talk about the game of that quarter, and then we'll go through the year, and we'll all come up with our 4 favorite games of the year throughout each quarter, and then we'll come up with our down the scope game of the year, hopefully at the end of 2011 here. So,
yeah.
Right now, let's just let me do a quick review for everybody. That doesn't keep track of everything. I'm just going to list some very brief AAA titles. Now, there's a lot of games that get released in 3 months, but here were some of the AAA titles that have already come out between January 1st and March 31st. We've had Bulletstorm, we had Homefront, Crysis 2, Killzone 3, Dragon Age 2, Dead Space 2, Little Big Planet 2, Mass Effect 2. Even Pokemon Black and White actually got a lot of publicity for a DS game.
Oh yeah.
So and those are just some of the games that I kind of thought of off the top of my head. There was plenty of others, but
Homefront.
Homefront was in there, yeah. Believe it or not, but yeah, that ain't gonna make mine. But anyway, I'll tell you what, Zombie Lady, why don't you tell us your game of the year or game of the quarter first?
Actually, I don't know. Based on the reviews I've been reading, one of the top ones is actually Crisis 2. Believe it or not.
No.
It's like
It's personal opinion,
oh
Yeah.
not reviews.
Well, and we can discuss it both ways. I mean, if you think, Crisis
Yeah.
2 is getting most of the critical acclaim.
I mean, I don't want to be biased too, but yeah.
What's your personal opinion? I mean, do you think Crisis 2 is deserving of all that? Is that your favorite game of the quarter so far?
It'll, my opinion is gonna be biased because I don't really play single player. So, I mean, I haven't played the single player in that, but I love the multiplayer, and I think it has a shot actually, to become a game of the year. A lot of people have high reviews about it, and the gameplay is just so clear right now for me. It's been so it's been so great. Like, I love it. It's different. It's not it's not normally my cup of tea, but I was open to it and I loved it better than I loved Killzone.
What did you like about the? Have you played any free for all on there? Is that what you've liked?
Yeah, private. I played some private match and
Right.
stuff. Kind of like free for all, but I was liking it. I was really, really liking it. I mean, the environment and stuff like that, it's really, really new to me.
It's got to be the best looking game ever.
Oh,
It is. So far.
Yeah. There was a guy that I won't say his name, but he I just didn't understand it. He said that he thought there were games that looked better than Crisis. I just did not get it.
Name them.
Well, he brought up Killzone, and
No. I like Crisis better.
I do too. I think that Crisis is a better looking game. I think that I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I just had to bring that up because it kind of irritated me a little bit. But anyway.
So Zombie, you're on board then? You think game of the quarter so far is for you
Game of
Crisis
the
2?
quarter for me would be Crisis.
All right.
I mean,
Nice.
based on my personal opinion and what I think about other personal opinions about the reviews I've read.
All right. Well, Viridia, what do you say on this? There's a lot of good games.
Yeah, well, you guys know my look on Crisis. I mean, you could tell in the last episode the way I viewed Crisis and how much I enjoy it and whatnot. Games that I choose to be the best, they have to have an emotional attachment for me. They have to in some way inflict an emotional damage or something on my psyche, and nobody did that better this quarter than Isaac Clarke on the Sprawl in Dead Space 2. So I am going to have to go with Dead Space because honestly, if you look at any of my favorite games of all time, there is an emotional attachment, and I have never been so terrified in my life when I was playing this game in the dark with a headset on, and when a game can change the way I feel, just sitting on my couch, unlike any movie has ever done, and honestly, unlike anything in real life has ever done. I've never been that terrified in real life. I know I'm sounding like a wuss here, but it would have to be Dead Space 2. So
no, I have a friend of mine that actually cannot play it. He says the game freaks him out too much. He can't play it.
I have a friend as well. And here's the thing: it does take a surround sound headset or a surround sound theater room or something to really get the feeling out of this game that I got. It really does. But all the technical hardware aside, the disc itself has the ability, and so even though I am in love with Crisis, I love it to death, and I love the story, Dead Space is going to have to nudge ahead just a tad, and you'll notice something, the games that do have an emotional attachment to me, I have a hard time putting even on my channel, and I know that's one of the big things that a lot of my viewers are going to say. It's like, well, if you like it so damn much, why is there nothing about it on your channel? Because this is mine. I'm holding this to myself. So yeah, that's mine right there.
Awesome. Well, I thought about it for a long time too. You know, I mean, I looked at a lot of games. I was looking at a huge list of games. I didn't even realize how many games came out in the last 3 months. And you know, of all of them, I think I got to pick Homefront. Sorry.
Dude, no, I literally for that split second, I almost puked. I was like,
Wow, I know, right? I was gonna burst out in like, I fall out of my chair and just laugh.
You know, you know, the sad thing is I am battling, and I'm still battling at this very moment between the two games you guys have both mentioned. And, you know, Dead Space I am totally with you, Verity. You know, the thing is on this, that, you know, the first one it just blew me away. I just like, holy crap, you know, at least now finally as somebody is doing an original game in an original universe. I mean, you know, it's not like, you know, horror, you know, like the horror genre that you know, that they went with is anything new, but I mean, it was just so polished, you know, I couldn't believe how well that game, you know, how well it was polished, how well it was made. And I could not wait for the second one. But the funny thing is, I felt exactly the same way about Crysis. Yep. I absolutely loved the first Crysis. And I was even, I went back on my PC, since I built my new PC here about a month or so ago. I put the old Crysis on and Crysis Warhead, and I was going through both of those. I actually kept all my save games, and I pulled them up, and I went in and loaded up some areas that I just loved to play. And, man, I have I have such a soft spot for both of these games. Crysis 2, as much as I was worried about it, you know, where they kind of dumbed it down a little bit, you know, dumbed down the suit and some other things, it exceeded my expectations. And then Dead Space 2, it was like revisiting an old friend. You know, I was like, oh my God, they did such a great job with this. And, you know, yeah, it's kind of more of the same, but I wanted more of the same.
Exactly.
They didn't need to fix it. It wasn't broken. So, you know, believe it or not, as much as I love Crysis as well, I really do have to put Dead Space 2 out there. Even though I was mildly disappointed in the multiplayer, I actually still like the multiplayer. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. Although, you know, it wasn't a hit with the community at large, I still really, you know, the game, the environment, the mood, the tone, everything about it is just so far above almost every other game out there. And, I mean, I'm with you. It's like it just slightly nudges right there above Crysis. And so that's for me, too, Dead Space. Yeah.
Nice.
I love it.
All right, so I mean, we don't need Reed's opinion, so it just doesn't.
Indeed.
I think collectively and unanimously, it's Dead Space 2 for the quarter. I mean, for the podcast at least, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, for you guys,
but, you know, and Crysis is right there. I'll tell you, but
I mean, because as far as I know, Reed would pick Ascension, so that doesn't count.
Indeed.
Has he played Crysis at all? I haven't.
No,
I haven't been on.
He has. He still has not opened the packaging.
All the people in Crysis are living, so you know it doesn't mean anything to them.
All right, we can't pick on him too much.
Anyway.
He's not even here. We're picking on him too much.
He can't defend himself.
He would respond just as much as if he was here.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Anyway, all right. Well, let's move on. We won't beat him up too bad. Let's move on. All right, let's talk about a little segment here that I named Beyond the Controller. And for those of you that are continuous listeners to the podcast, first of all, thanks for listening. We really appreciate all you guys that take an hour out of your weekly life to give us your attention. It's been great. If you'll remember back a couple episodes ago, we talked about movie tie-ins. You know, we talked about games that kind of turn into movies or movies that turn into games, you know, and all that. And of course, there's, you know, our overall conclusion was that there wasn't very much out there that was any good. That was, you know, movies based on games and vice versa. But what I wanted to discuss a little bit, and I really want to see some comments back in the comment section down here, gang. I really want you guys to you know, give us some feedback on this. Send us an email or, you know, throw some comments underneath. I want to know who out there is buying the gaming tie-ins? And what I mean by that, I want to define this so we're clear on this. We're not talking about movies now, okay? I'm talking about when you go to the bookstore and you see Halo novels, and you go to the comic book store or the toy store and you're seeing, game franchise figurines and action figures, or you see DVDs like the Dead Space tie-in DVDs that went straight to DVD that were the animated films to kind of bridge the two game, time periods, or making ofs, or various other things that that developers are throwing out there as bits and pieces to try to get you more involved in the expanded universe for these games. Here's the thing: my big question to the audience at large is, are you guys interested in that, and are you buying it? And that's kind of the topic for today. So you guys take it away. Tell me what you guys think on this.
All right. Well, the first thing you got to understand about the tie-ins is that me personally anyway, I think there's good and bad tie-ins. So an example of a good tie-in would be something like Halo. It would be something that had a story to it, and even taking Halo and saying there's good and bad to it. The collectible figurines are just, the ones that Todd McFarlane did for Reach are absolutely amazing.
Are great, yeah.
I'm looking at them right now. They're just absolutely stunning. But then you've got, these crappy guns and whatnot that you can buy at like a Hastings or something. And I don't know, those are stupid. But the thing about it, is that a game has to have an amazing story in order to make me want to purchase a tie-in. So you've got the Halo novels that are really good, and you've got the Halo what was it, that movie that was kind of like the Animatrix?
Oh, Halo Legends. Yeah,
Halo Legends.
That's right, and that was excellent.
Yes, it was. I mean, there was only one film in there I didn't really like. That was kind of the chibi one.
I
kind of skipped over that. But yeah, I mean, you've got these things, and even the Halo, that little what was it again? Halo what? Legends. So even Legends, that first film that they had, explained a ton of crap for Halo fans. It kind of gave you a visual idea of how the whole thing started, how the Flood attacked, and what they did to prevent it. And all that. So anyway, the story, things like that, they really do provide an awesome kind of an Easter egg, honestly, to the people who enjoy the story. And one that you guys won't get because you're losers is the Final Fantasy VII franchise. Now, I know that a lot of the viewers do know what Final Fantasy VII is, and even you guys know how big of a deal that Final Fantasy VII has become. The reason is because it's got such an amazing story, and even they tie-ins don't just have to be movies or books. They can also be other games. They can be sequels.
Right.
And so with Final Fantasy VII, all Final Fantasies are straight one game deals, with the exception of Final Fantasy X-2, which was just a load of crap. And so with Final Fantasy VII, it was so big that they actually decided to show off more, and they've created Crisis Core, they've created I don't know. But the best thing about it was the movie, the Final Fantasy
Advent Children. Yeah, that
Advent
was
Children.
excellent. Sure.
And that movie right there, wow.
Yeah.
It was absolutely phenomenal, and it was fan service.
Yep.
To a generation of people who enjoyed that game.
Absolutely.
So when you're asking me if I would, I definitely, if it's right, and I am cautious, I wouldn't go out and buy a Call of Duty novel. But if the price is right and the story's good, I will definitely buy a tie-in. Zombie?
Nope.
Done.
Next topic.
No, I don't know. I'm not that kind of girl, I think. I've never bought a tie-in before in my life.
But to be fair, what game story have you delved into?
To be honest, the most I got into was Tekken.
Well, let me ask you. Now, hang on. They actually had Tekken figures. I mean, if you had a favorite character, and you saw it on the shelf, would you go, "Oh, wow, that'd be awesome on my shelf at home"? I mean, is that something you'd buy if that was a game that you were really into?
Well, I was young. That's why probably I was so into it. Like, I've researched their whole biography and stuff like that. I mean, I've watched the crappy animated version of it and stuff like that. And I wish that there was a movie about them. I think it's because I was young.
There's a Tekken movie.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there is. There is. I mean, I was so into it, like, seriously. But I don't know. When I grew up, I never bought anything. I think Counter-Strike, I bought like keychains and stuff.
Okay, so you did buy something
when I was young, but when I grew older, I don't.
Okay, well, but is it fair to say that I mean, what is your favorite movie? I mean, okay, give me a movie that you enjoy.
Sound of Music.
Okay, so say The Sound of Music. Say The Sound of Music was a DDR type game.
Holy crap, we're on to something. Okay, attention developers, get started on the DDR Sound of Music. There are customers waiting.
Doog, doog, doog.
Dubstep, won't, won't.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? Left, right.
Left, right. Gallops. But yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, so say that your favorite movie was actually a game, because you cannot sit there and tell me that you just said it yourself. You never played a single player. So you don't know a good game story from The Sound of Music, right?
I played Heavy Rain on the PS3. That's about it.
Did you enjoy Heavy Rain a lot?
Yeah, I did.
So all right, so let me ask you this: if you were in a store and for $1 there was an origami figure sitting there that said, like, you know, whatever on it, you wouldn't buy it for $1?
For $1?
Yeah, or something. I mean, an origami figure is not going to be very much money. I mean,
sounds tempting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so even that little speck, you know, you can't just kind of say, okay, well, I can see where if I got into a game, I could probably buy a tie-in.
Yeah, you know what? Probably because even if it's a movie that I really like, I wouldn't buy a tie-in.
So here's the thing. I mean, let's be. But here's the deal. What is it? Something
even a
that you
poster
don't really...
here, even a poster. I wouldn't buy a poster.
But the reason is you wouldn't want to. I mean, this isn't like your style. You wouldn't put it up in your house. This isn't something you don't want to advertise.
There you go. I wouldn't put it up. That's why.
So you're a closet gamer.
Yeah, I am a closet gamer. Not
All
a lot
of
of
her real life
like
friends have no idea what she goes home and does at night.
That's why she doesn't invite us up.
That's it.
That's exactly why. She's like, yeah, we can meet like somewhere else, but there's nothing to do here. You don't want to come.
She like hides all the consoles and everything, puts them in the closet.
No. She told me that never mind.
Wow, what did I tell you? Come on.
Okay, so basically, she's got here's the scenario I play out in my head. She told me this. She has a bunk bed. Don't interrupt me. She's got a bunk bed in her room. Okay, so what I imagine is that she sleeps on the top bunk. The bottom bunk, there's nothing under it but like a desk kind of deal, and she drapes her sheet over it so that when she leaves, it literally just looks like a normal room. You can't see anything underneath it. But when she goes into game mode, she goes into her little cave, and it's like boom, and it's just like glowing blue light underneath it. Am I correct?
No.
Oh, I'm close.
I'll show you a picture of it. I'm not done. Like, rearranging
Unbelievable.
it.
All right. Well, anyway, that's what
right? I'm living a double life.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Well, if you saw me in real life, I don't think you'll know that I'm a gamer, right, Brad?
Right. Yeah. You
right?
Yeah. You
wouldn't know that I game.
Maybe a sushi chef, but not a gamer.
Sushi chef. Jeez.
Racist.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Good Lord.
But yeah. So I okay, whatever. I totally get it. What about you, Anakin?
We know it's funny. I mean, you guys just talk about like, you know, who you know, when you walk down the street, can you like peg who are gamers? You know, who are gamers and who aren't. Well, you know, you can to some degree. It depends on who really does wear gamers, you know, gaming paraphernalia on their sleeve. You know, I mean, there are people out there that are walking around with, you know, Nintendo shirts and you know, Call of Duty shirts and everything else. I mean, it's crazy. But
ding, ding.
But you know, here's the deal. I mean, I'm actually. It's weird. I have a lot of memorabilia for movies and other stuff in my theater room. I have tons of like figurines from Star Wars. They had a Star Wars Unleashed series that these figurines were absolutely gorgeous. You mentioned the McFarlane stuff for the Halo series. These are very, very similar to that. So I buy a lot of memorabilia and a lot of cool things for things that really mean something to me. And in my case, duh, it's Star Wars. But beyond that, I don't really buy gaming tie-ins too much. Some of the things that I own that are gaming tie-ins that are not the actual game itself. I do have a Call of Duty shirt that came with the Black Ops midnight launch. I've never worn it. I don't even know why. It's not like I'd be embarrassed about it. I mean, good Lord, 15 million people can't be wrong, right? But,
yeah.
But the thing is that I generally don't buy gaming tie-ins myself. Now, obviously, I'm quite a bit older than most people, when it comes to the gaming, community and all that. But that doesn't mean that I'm still not out in the toy section looking to see what's new and cool. But the thing is when it comes to games, there's so few that really make an impact on me. And it's funny that we actually already talked about the game of the quarter, because I bought the Dead Space movie tie-in.
Heck yeah.
Because I was so interested in that universe. And the thing is when you talk again about, does the story really matter, to justify a gaming tie-in? Absolutely. For me, Halo was an interesting universe, but I just didn't care for the first one that much, and then it kind of soured my interest in that universe for the second two, because I played it on the PC. It came much later, and the PC was kind of, the PC version was kind of goofed up, and I don't know. I just ended up getting a bad experience on Halo early on, and I never really pursued it that much. But when I started seeing all of the Halo, memorabilia out there, people dressing up as Master Chief and creating these elaborate costumes, and the things that you could buy at the store that were all Halo themed and everything, even the controllers and stuff, for the Xbox and all. I mean, that's all pretty cool stuff, but generally, I always felt like they were just exactly that, tie-ins, money grabs, and I don't usually pursue them, but as these games get bigger and bigger and bigger, and these franchises grow into these massive entities beyond just the game, these tie-ins are becoming much more prolific out there. They're everywhere. And so, the thing is I'm not really buying this stuff that much. Brad, you said that you've bought a few things along the way, right? But you're not like buying everything up for all your favorite games, right?
Right. No. I definitely don't do that. But
I mean, you kind of pick and choose along the way.
Yeah. It's not like I'm going out and buying every single Final Fantasy VII figurine, but you're right. If I did see one that struck my eye, I would buy it. I'm one of those people. If I enjoy a game that much, I enjoy showing that off.
Exactly. I'm kind of the same way on that.
Yeah, I enjoy letting people know, and I just, that's the way I feel about a lot. And it's also when you're talking about the novels and the books and stuff, the books can just the detail can explain so much more about what's going on than a game can sometimes. In the game, you're getting caught up in game physics. You're worrying about how to kill the next grunt. You're not taking the time to really. You don't even care what's going on inside the characters' heads. But with the book, you get to know a character better, and then that can carry over and make your gaming experience better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The only problem for me is that a lot of the book tie-ins are for things that I'm just not all that, I'm not all that interested in the universe. I think there's even an Assassin's Creed book or something that I saw.
I'm not a book reader.
Well,
that's why.
God.
I wait for the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I look like a nerd because I have glasses, but I'm not a book reader at all.
God.
My family are all book readers. I don't know why. I just don't like books. I think I'm adopted.
Jeez.
Fantastic.
Well, I didn't even know there was an Assassin's Creed book, and now that you said that, I do want to buy it because I mean that is a very heavily story-driven game, and that's one of those games that I even read theories about online because they leave so much open-ended, and if I can find a clue anywhere, I'm going to try and find it. So yeah, I might even read that. I really am not opposed because the story, and I don't know if you saw the live action film that they did for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty bad. I loved it.
Yeah. But one thing too, Zombie, you mentioned Tekken earlier, and kind of your love for Tekken. The one thing I'm guilty of. In fact, I put this in my profile on my YouTube channel. The one thing I'm guilty of, I buy a lot of art books. I'm a huge fan of those really, really nicely done art books for movies and certain things. And I actually bought a gaming tie-in. I bought an art book, The Art of Soul Calibur, if you can believe that.
Oh, nice.
And those characters, they have some really awesome characters that they're so elaborate with their costumes and the design. They actually talk they talk in these books, and they show all the different original drawings of the ideas of the characters and how they evolved forward, and then if you even follow that series at all, the whole Soul Calibur series, you actually can watch the characters evolve through all the games and different outfits and costumes they have and everything. So that was one of the first things I bought, when it came to a gaming tie-in.
Yeah, I bet that art book was one of those that was like in cellophane, and then you couldn't open it in the bookstore, so you bought it to see if Ivy's conceptual art actually began with her naked.
Yeah, no lie, right? Jesus.
I don't know if I'm that girl.
What, Ivy? No. I'm just kidding.
Good Lord.
Brad.
I'm messing with you. It's April 1st. It's church right now. I've got to mess with somebody. Jeez.
I'm just going to sit in the corner.
I'm just kidding.
It's fine.
Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, I think we've talked about that. I mean, I'm actually curious, and this one I really do want to hear some good feedback from all of our listeners on this. You guys let me know what do you like to buy for tie-ins? Do you buy tie-ins at all? Are there certain games that you buy stuff for that you're just fanatical about? I mean, are you a Halo guy? Are you a Call of Duty guy? Are you a Street Fighter guy? Or whatever it is. Tell us in the comments. Tell us in the email. Some of the things that you really like, and we'll talk about it in our next podcast. See what.
Well, you know what? Here. I would read Rad's theory about zombies. There you
God.
go.
Don't give them any more ideas on
and
publishing
send it to me. I would read the whole thing.
Oh Christ!
No, you may not be able to read it. I think he had a hard time reading it when he was verbally putting it into a video.
Good Lord!
But no, that's not a tie-in.
I thought we were going to make it. This whole freaking podcast without zombies.
Zombie just had to ruin that.
It's like the spirit of Rad Austin is here among us, no matter what we do. Moving on.
You guys are mean.
Fantastic. All right. Once again, guys, all you listeners, let me know what you think about tie-ins and whether you buy them yourself. I actually really am curious to know if there's a big community buying that stuff. Obviously, the developers and the publishers for these games continue to put them out, so somebody's buying them. I just want to know if everybody is buying, all kinds of game-related stuff, or if there's certain games you buy for, or whatever else. So
exactly.
Anyway, tell us in the comments, tell us in the email. So moving on, we have another topic here that I wanted to talk about, and again, this is actually sort of an expanded topic from something we've talked about before. I think again a couple of episodes ago, we talked about whether certain games are deserving of sequels. And I actually wanted to go one step further with that discussion, and I have a little segment here called Sequels the Sequel. So, and this is about not necessarily whether a game is deserving of a sequel or not. It's actually whether a game is deserving of its own entire franchise and yearly releases. Because, I don't know if everybody's kind of paying attention to all this out here, on the grand scale, but obviously Call of Duty was probably the very first game to, or the very first series to go out and throw a game out there and it just sell like gangbusters, okay? And then all of a sudden, literally the next year, another game under that same title comes out. And then the next year, and the next year, and of course here we are, we're on the fourth year in a row or actually the fifth year in a row, I think, that we're going to get another Call of Duty game in November. And now that they have set the stage, this is obviously the number one selling game of all time, and it breaks records every year now in November. So guess what? Everybody's got to make a buck. So all the developers and all the publishers have watched this happen, and now they are choosing to go the same route. Assassin's Creed is one of these. Battlefield is becoming the same way. I think there's talk now that Dragon's Age is going to go the same direction. We may see another Dragon Age 3 this time next year. So the question is, to everybody here is that, first of all, what games really truly deserve a yearly release? And is it going to come down to the fact that we're only going to actually have, from major developers and AAA titles, is it going to be narrowed down over the next 10 years, let's say, that there's only going to be maybe 5 to 10 games released a year, and you play those 5 or 10 games, and the next year there's going to be 5 or 10 more games under those same franchises that you just look forward to the next iteration of that next year?
Well, I think that you've got two different types of developers. You've got intelligent developers, and we'll take and put Bungie in that category, and then you've got dumbasses, and we'll put Activision in that category, and we'll just use those two as a control here. You've got so you look at Halo, and you see that there is a time span between each Halo game. Now there might be a little bit of something every now and then, like ODST was. It might fly in under the radar and say, okay, well here's something to hold you over, and that's fine with me. You look at the Halo experience. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no glitching. There's no, lag problems. You jump on Halo, you're playing Halo, and you know what you're going to get. Then you've got Activision, and instead of being intelligent and passionate about gaming, it seems like, honestly, like just exactly what you said. They're all about the money, and it's just like, let's destroy the quality of the product in order to make quantity, and then they just start pumping out crap. And it's not. I don't blame Treyarch or Infinity Ward. I blame that tight deadline that they've got and the pressure that's being put on them by the publisher. And as far as Assassin's Creed goes, if they can continue to pump out a story, and I don't think that Ubisoft will actually push it to the limit that they'll release one every single year for like 20 years. I think that they've got a cap, but I do hope, because I do enjoy the story a ton. But as far as it goes, I think that they may be thinking a little bit smarter, because what they did was they took Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And what I think they did, honestly, because a Brotherhood was so good, I think that they might have written a very long story for the second game in, knowing that this was going to happen. And I don't necessarily think that they intentionally held out some of the features from the first game, but I do think that once it was done and over, they sat down and they had a brief period where they were like, okay, now that we've got this game out of the way, what can we do to make this even better? And then they integrated the rest of the story into the game. I don't think I have a hard time believing, with as good as the story is, that they actually went, okay, Assassin's Creed 2 is good. Let's really quickly write some jumble up, throw it into a spin-off. It's not even a sequel. It's basically just an addition to Brotherhood or to Assassin's Creed 2.
Right.
Well, here's my question for you, Brad, and Anakin. Like, what game or what kind of game deserves a sequel every year?
I don't think I honestly, unless
what type of game, or what criteria
my answer
in
on
a game?
that is none.
Okay, you're right, but my answer it is none for the current, for right now. However, if there was a publisher that could produce an insane quality, they could make something different every single time and make it just as good as the first one. That's the only thing that deserves a sequel every year. But then even taking it from there, it has to be different, and I need to emphasize that. You can't have this Madden bull crap where you put out the same damn game every year. You just update a stat, which could be easily done with, a patch or something.
Yep.
And some people, other players, new players.
Well, yeah, and it's like Bentley and I were talking about the other day. Call of Duty, yeah, the gun model might change, but they handle all the same. You can take a gun from Black Ops and say, oh, this feels exactly like the TAR from Modern Warfare 2. The TAR kind of felt like this gun from this game, and you just keep rolling it over. The damage and everything, it's exactly the same. Why doesn't Call of Duty put out one? Because Modern Warfare 2 looks better than Black Ops tenfold.
I agree.
Okay, so they take Modern Warfare, they say, okay, here is the engine, and then they just literally, for the next year or two, while they're in development for Modern Warfare 3 or whatever game they're making, they release, $30 content packs that add on a few new guns, a few new maps. They do this 4 or 5 times during the life of that game. They've already doubled the money that they made just by making a whole new crap game. Am I right?
Absolutely. I'm 100% on board for that. The map packs are, already extend the life. But, if they were to go further and throw out more perks, more guns, keep the engine. If you've got a great game and you've got a great engine, I don't need a whole new game. Give me new content.
Exactly. Look at. Okay, there is a company that did this, and Battlefield, Bad Company 2 did this. What they did was they said, okay, people are liking Bad Company. What we're going to do now is we're going to throw in pretty much a whole new multiplayer experience, new guns, new maps, and they call it Battlefield Vietnam.
Right.
Okay. So now imagine Modern Warfare 2. Okay, so you've played it for 2 years or a year. You played it, for however long. You've gotten your map packs for your original or whatever, and now they make an add-on called Modern Warfare 2 Black Ops.
Exactly.
Okay? And with this add-on comes not only better graphics from what Treyarch created, but it comes a whole new set of guns. It doesn't even have to be a whole freaking new roster. It could be like maybe 7 or 8. And you could add those in with your old guns. It added 8 maps or so. That can't take a ton of money to create a new map or two. I'm watching Bentley right now. He's creating a zombie map right now. It's not taking him much effort, I'm sure. It can't be that strenuous to say, okay, we've created literally half of a new game, and we're going to only charge you half the price for it, but we're going to do it multiple times. And if you want to, you don't have to buy it. You can continue playing the base multiplayer for the game, but if you'd like a new experience that's just as good, and you already know that it's going to be as good as the original multiplayer because it's running on the same engine, then go ahead and buy this game. The single player is bull crap. I'm sorry, but I did not. I don't care. When I buy a Call of Duty, I'm not buying it to see Ghost or whoever the heck is in these games. I don't care.
Yeah,
actually, Black Ops single player got great reviews.
Yeah, I did a Let's Play of it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it too much.
It was all right. I think it gets mixed reviews in general from the community. Some people really love it, and then there's other people who are just totally down on it. I thought it was pretty good for the most part,
right.
But that's not saying much because it's a Call of Duty game. I kind of feel the same way you do, Verdi. It's like I don't buy Call of Duty for the single player.
No. I didn't even buy Modern Warfare. I didn't buy Call of Duty 4 for the single player. I saw the multiplayer trailer. I was like, that's awesome. I want to try that out. I did, however, enjoy the story there. I did enjoy the story of Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. I did enjoy those a little bit more, I have to say, because they were more, gritty, like army and stuff like that. I do enjoy military, but that's besides the point. They're not gaining massive sales because they're creating a new Half-Life 2 every time.
Right, exactly.
And that's the standard of first-person single-player story that you have to live up to make me buy a first-person shooter for a story.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They create a multiplayer so that the game, so that what do you call it? It's the tip of my tongue. The gameplay, how you replay the game.
Replayability.
Oh,
yeah. That's why they make it so you have to replay the multiplayer. So why do you have to make it every year?
No.
If for sure people are going to play it more than a year.
Well, yeah,
They just wanted money from us. That's what I think. I don't know.
It makes me also question, why does Activision kill off a Call of Duty game once a new one comes out?
Yeah, they do seem to do that. It's like the game becomes completely unsupported. The community at large all shift literally overnight to the new version of the game.
Yeah.
And so the old game just languishes. It just sits there and goes nowhere, and slowly a little bit of people have gone back to Modern Warfare 2 a little bit, just recently. But it's one of those critical.
It's due to their stress from Black Ops.
Well, maybe, but I'm going to throw out a challenge for Activision. I want them to try this and see how much freaking money they make. Add one new gun now, today. Add one new gun to Modern Warfare 2 and see how many people you win back. One gun.
I guarantee you there'd be a lot.
Oh, everybody would want to try it out, and everybody be using it. They'd be like, "Oh my god, $1 for a new gun? Okay, I just want to see how much money they make from that. I guarantee they'd make $4 or $5 million if they charged $1 for one new gun. I'm serious, and that. It just goes to show that right there would prove you don't have to do it every single time, but you're going to charge the $60. That's why I respect and I love the Halo series so much, is because they don't do that crap. They don't just shovel something out the door every year. And now they're done and they're giving it to a new company. There's no telling what the heck they'll do to it. But Bungie had pride in what they did, and they didn't do that. You had Halo 1, 2 years later Halo 2, 2 years later 3, and in between 3 and Reach, there was ODST, but I still enjoyed Firefight quite a bit. And the story, they gave you a good story there. They gave you a noir feeling to it, and that really did it for me. So, do
you like the community or do you like the game?
Well, the game. I mean, see that have you ever played Halo, Zombie?
Nope.
Okay, so
do I have an Xbox, Brad?
Yep. As far as I know, it's like in your house right now.
I just got into the console world 2009 or 2010. Sorry, March 2010.
Okay, well, I'm just saying you threw it at me like it was a smart ass question. I don't know. You might have friends that have it. I don't know. But anyway, so basically, the problems we have tons of problems when we play Black Ops. Am I right, Zombie?
Yeah.
We have tons of problems. We have problems playing Crisis. Even we've had problems playing Killzone. I've had tons of problems playing Homefront as well as Anakin.
Oh yeah.
I challenge you. Pop in a Halo game. Pop in a Halo Reach. Pop it in. Play it.
And it works.
You do not have a problem.
It just works.
You don't have lag. You don't have party issues. Nothing. There is no problem. It is flawless.
It's true.
So that is the care and love that was put in those 2 years. That's why you don't release annually.
I agree.
Totally agree.
I mean, you got these idiots at Activision, and these guys don't know anything about games. All they see is money. And then you got people at Bungie, and the love that they put into these games, the art, the design, the testing. I mean, you can, like I said, I think it was last week, you watch the developers' DVD, and you see what they do. And you just can't. There's no way that somebody at Infinity Ward can be doing the same thing. Probably because Activision's down their neck the whole damn time.
Yeah, I have no doubt, and to me at this point, I just don't believe that there's any reason for any franchise, including Call of Duty, to come out annually. I mean, the thing is these games, I mean, I would still be playing Modern Warfare 2 right now had it not been for the community shift to Black Ops. I mean, I was excited about Black Ops, but honestly, the day before Black Ops came out, I was playing Modern Warfare 2 like nobody's business, having a great time, no issues at all. And I didn't need Black Ops, but the community at large, all your friends, everybody does it, so it ends up creating critical mass. And everybody, if you want to play with your friends, everybody else got to go buy it, and that's what happens. It's the same mentality that causes the map packs to just sell unbelievable amounts. If you want to continue to play multiplayer in the community as a whole, you have to buy the map pack, or else you're going to be frowned upon. I mean, you're not going to be part of the community.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I see this horrible decline where it looks like, if you've noticed, since Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, every game people have started to have some issues. You know, first it was World at War, people were like, blah, blah, I don't like this. Then it goes down to Modern Warfare 2. People are bitching about Modern Warfare 2, but guess what? They're going back to World at War.
Right.
Okay, and they're enjoying it. Then it happens again with Black Ops. Now, Black Ops comes out, you hear people going, I'm going back to Modern Warfare 2. What does that sound like? It sounds like a degrading game cycle. You're going downhill, and people are trying to get back up the damn hill.
When you hate the new game when you hate the new game they put out, it seems like you took the old game for granted and you just go back to it.
It's true.
So basically, we are the ones who are being controlled by all of this stuff, because we buy them and then we play the old one, and then we buy a new one, and then we'll replay the old one. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
it's a cycle.
Yeah, well, but that's the kind of world we're in. I mean, we as gamers, we have to, in order to play what we love, we have to keep up with the rest of the world. And the rest of the world, a lot of them aren't like us. They're not critical like this. I mean, I've got people that I meet. I just met a guy today, like he's my neighbor, and he's just like, oh, dude, I just play Black Ops all day. It's just awesome. They're not critical of these flaws that we see as hardcore gamers.
Right.
And that's a huge chunk of the people who buy and play these online. They don't care.
Sure.
They're not sitting there griping about the lag because, whatever. They're probably drunk, or they're just playing it casually. They know they're going to die. They know they're going to die because there's hardcore people out there. It's those people that are the ones that are finding these problems and griping about.
Oh yeah, like I remember I played with my real life coworker, and I see him and we're playing. I'm like, "Are you using Second Chance?"
But yeah, he doesn't know. He's not part of the community, so he doesn't know.
Yeah,
that's
and he's like,
on.
And I'm like, "Are you seriously using Second Chance?"
Yeah, and that's exactly right. That's one of those things where he looks at you like, obviously it says I am. It's like, what are you griping about?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, why not?
He's like, yeah, that's my favorite
I don't
perk.
get killed. I don't get the death. And
oh yeah. Well, see, I've gotten into arguments like with real life friends, and they're like, dude, don't gripe about something that's in the game. If it's in there, I can use it. I was like, dude, it's the moral freaking principle. You idiot.
Awesome.
They see nothing wrong with it. They're like, dude, if it was that bad, they wouldn't have put it in the game. I was like, no. You have to understand, these developers aren't these omnipotent minds. They do mess up. And this has been a problem, and it carries over. First it was Martyrdom, then it was Commando, and for some reason, they yeah, well, they got rid of it all except for Last Chance, and I don't know why they haven't taken that out yet.
I agree. That was a really dumb one to leave in.
Yeah, it's just like,
I used to use Martyrdom, actually.
Yeah, because God, yeah, no, that's worse than Second Chance.
No, I mean, I didn't know that was that bad before. I'm like, oh, what is this? It's cool. It drops a bomb.
Here's the thing, guys. Just really quick. Any perk that you have to die to obtain that means you're going into that battle knowing you're gonna die. So. It's a loser perk.
Yeah, and it's funny too because when I was playing Modern Warfare with I think who was I playing with Melees and them and Delta and Grace, and we were playing Modern Warfare 2, and it was funny because I just unlocked Painkiller, I think. Was it? And I hear them, and I'm like, oh, what's Painkiller? And I used it, and I hear them griping about, oh, what the freaking Painkiller guy. I'm like,
that is awesome.
I have no idea what Painkiller is. I'm like, what are they complaining about?
Exactly. Well, yeah. But I mean, I didn't mean to get off topic there, but that's what I think about these annual sequels personally. And I know, I'm sorry guys, I took up a lot of that segment, but I really did feel strongly about that subject.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just don't think that they're necessary, and it is something that I think we're going to see hopefully we're going to see the end of that, because what happens is it's going to be something I'm going to term the Guitar Hero syndrome. they're going to drive these games into the masses. Everybody's going to love them, and then they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to saturate the market with these games. In fact, I wouldn't doubt at some point we may see a Call of Duty less than a year. November is supposedly the release. I bet you we may. In a year or two, we may see a Call of Duty twice a year, and then what's going to happen is everybody's. Could you imagine? Gosh. I mean, really, could you imagine? Mm-hmm. And then what's going to happen is the franchise is going to be so driven into the ground, it will literally die off, just like Guitar Hero did. Everybody loved it. Everybody was going crazy for it. And you know what? When the first Guitar Hero came out, it was a huge deal. Nobody could wait for the second one. Second one came out, it was a huge deal. Third one came out, huge deal. And then they said, holy cow, if we put out more of these, more people will buy them. And then, they just went nuts. And, I swear to you, they're going to do something similar with Call of Duty and maybe even, Assassin's Creed or some of these others. And that's what worries me. And that's what I hope doesn't happen. Right now, I think we're going to be plagued with that. But hopefully that does not happen. But anyway, I'll tell you what, let's move on and let's talk about user mail here real quick before we head off. We had a couple of messages. There was one of our listeners asked us about Triforce Johnson, Isaiah Triforce Johnson, and the 3DS launch. We didn't want to make that a full topic. We got your message, we talked about it, and it is interesting. The news covered it for you guys that don't know too much about that. Isaiah Johnson is a massive Nintendo fanatic. This guy is just in love with everything Nintendo creates. And the 3DS launch, he was out in front of one of the stores there to pick it up in New York City. He actually camped out for it 5 days in advance, which of course was kind of irrelevant since nobody needed to camp out for it. There's plenty of stock. But he camped out because he's that fanatical about it, and he got in the news because some security guards told him to get lost for loitering. And
he's from New York, right? New York.
Yeah, New York.
Okay.
And anyway, the big wigs at Nintendo, kind of got involved, and they actually gave him the very first 3DS released to the public in the United States. To kind of reward him for his loyalty.
Right.
And I thought that was neat. And we may actually come back to this topic and talk about some of the corporate brand super fans that are out there, kind of like this guy. But we just didn't feel like right now was a good time to cover that. But it is an interesting thing, and thanks for writing in on that.
Yep.
We had another quick note here about setting up podcasts. We got your message. The thing is, I don't think there's really any secret to how we do it. There's a lot of other guys out there that really have some great methods of setting up podcasts. Ours is really lower end than you probably want to set yours up after. So
right.
I'd just say do some research on that, guys, instead of kind of use us as a template. But beyond that, thanks again for writing in. But if we get some more comments about how we set up our podcast and stuff, we might cover that in a future episode. And one other note we got here was we had a request to cover Duke Nukem. But Duke Nukem, really, we're all kind of waiting on that one. It was supposed to come out pretty soon, but it doesn't come out now. It got pushed back to late May, from what I hear. So I would hate for all of us to kind of cover that right now. It's only been publicity stuff. There's not really a whole lot to talk about, and I'd much rather save a podcast to cover that game because I think we're all going to be very interested in covering that for sure.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's an interesting game.
Yeah, there's already some scandal out there.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
So. But do you guys have anything else to add? Anything else that we should cover before we wrap it up?
Yeah, if you guys have any idea how to get past some of those glitches in Fallout, please email me. Like personally, I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm so upset. That's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for listening and watching, and please give us a like on the video and leave us a comment. We really do appreciate it. We read every single one of them. So
great, Zombie. You got anything to add?
Yeah. Can you please tell me if it's only me that has a problem with this Turtle Beaches I have, the PX21? Okay, here's the thing, okay?
All right.
So I plugged in my headset on my computer, and I'm watching one of, I think, Veridia's Let's Play. I hear the game volume. I don't hear the commentary at all.
That means you may have a channel out, left channel or right channel?
Yeah. No, mine's full stereo. That's the weird thing. I mean, like, because it's rendered as one channel through Vegas. So
I know, that's so weird.
You shouldn't not be
any video, even my own commentary, I can't hear. That's why I'm having a hard time
That's
putting up a new video right now because of this freaking.
It's really odd. I've never heard of a problem like that ever before.
Yeah, that's pretty strange.
Please let me know.
Yeah, if you guys know anything about that, hit us up. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the warranty still with this because
You might
I have the packaging and stuff still.
Hit the forums over at Turtle Beach. They've actually got some pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
I guess so because this was a gift from this was a gift in December, so it's only been what. 4 months?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You should be able to get some kind of help from Turtle Beach on that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I bought it at Future Shop, if you guys know.
Oh, I know Future Shop.
Yeah, it's the Canadian Best Buy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I've spent many an hour in there. All right. Well,
I used to work there before.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, gang. I do want to do just a very, very brief mention about me and my channel. I know a lot of the listeners who are listening to my podcast, and that's about the only way they can get their Anakin fix. I once again, guys, I really do apologize. I know I've got 3,500 of you out there wondering what in the heck has happened to me, but I really have been extremely, extremely busy recently. Me and my wife, I mentioned last time in our podcast, we've got our house up for sale. I have basically moved everything into storage, so I don't have a whole lot of easy access to my HD PVR. I am playing a few games.
So are you really moving now?
Well, I hope. I'm trying to get somebody to buy our house. I can't move until we sell this one. But we do have some other houses we're looking at. We're really excited about. But I just got to sell ours first, and we staged our house for viewings. So what that means basically is you kind of just move everything out, and then you make the house look like a show house. So so you just don't have clutter and stuff everywhere. So
have you ever thought that your theater room might be like scaring them off, like maybe too intimidating? It's like, oh my God, we can't afford this.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, believe it or not, my real estate agent does think that. They actually at one point said I might not be able to sell the house because of the theater room, because it's just so crazy. But anyway, I actually did get some requests last time. But people were like, "Man, show me your theater room," and I'm like, "Oh God, I might. I'll do. Maybe do a real life video."
You should.
It's too nice to leave behind and not have any internet proof of.
Yeah, I mean, I got the pleasure of seeing it, so I'm honored.
Yeah, it was a good site. Good site for any gamer or film buff for sure.
Definitely.
I mean, I really wanted to fly to Texas just to play Rock Band there with you.
Well, it is a Rock Band room. I'll tell you that. I have.
You know what? It would be perfect if you had the DDR platform for me.
I actually have 2 DDR mats that I set up.
No, I want the one in the arcade. That one.
Straight up platform, right in the middle.
Awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be the best. I'm like, yep. Flying to Texas right now.
Come on down. You better hurry before I sell my house. Well, anyway, I do want to say thanks to all my fans and friends and subscribers there on my channel. You guys have been holding out and waiting for me to kind of get back in the groove, and I do swear. I know I've said it. I swear I am going to get back in the groove here, but it has been tough for me recently. I've had a lot going on, so. Certainly be on the lookout. I have some Crisis videos coming soon. I've got a few other videos coming up soon. So I will be back in action on my channel, so be on the lookout. As for Down the Scope, this has been episode 10. And 10 weeks, gang. You know, we're moving into 3 months here, so it's exciting. And we really do thank everybody for listening. I know it's an hour long, and some of you have mentioned that it's hard for you to devote an entire hour. I will take whatever listenership we can get out of you. I really do appreciate even if you take 10 minutes just to kind of catch a little bit of our discussions along the way. So, but like Viridia said, like it if you like it. And share it with other people. We're trying to build a fan base here for Down the Scope. So once again, we appreciate it. And if you guys have nothing else to add, I will say send us email at podcastdownthescope@gmail.com. And we look forward to all your comments and all your emails. You guys have anything else?
Nope, I'm good. Thanks for watching.
Good.
All right. Well,
you basically summed it up for me.
Well, thanks so much, everybody, for listening. And we'll catch you with episode 11 next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye.